Welcome to the Amicable Divorce Network podcast. My name is Tracy Ann Moore-Grant, and I'm the founder of the Amicable Divorce Network. Our podcast is here to educate those before, during, and after divorce, as well as divorce professionals, about all of the issues that impact a family law case. We are here to educate you about difficult topics, provide you new information, and also give solutions for how to navigate all of the issues in family law and still bring your family law case to an efficient conclusion. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Amicable Divorce Network podcast. I'm your host, Tracy Ann Moore-Grant, and I am joined today by one of our Georgia members, Nicole Comis. She serves on the Amicable Divorce Network board as our coaching chair and is also our Amicable ambassador, getting everybody organized in Fulton County, Georgia, which could be a big task. And she is here today to talk to me about reinventing your life after divorce, which is an issue and question and just topic that we both see all of the time. Nicole, thank you so much for joining me today. Tell the audience a little bit more about yourself.
Thanks for having me, Tracy Ann. Well, everybody, my name is Nicole Comis. I am a professional certified coach, and my passion is really helping people discover their happiness, really go inward and discover who they want to be in the world and live a happy, healthy life that they can't wait to get out of bed for in the morning.
And so often people do not have that mindset.
Yes.
Going through a divorce or even after divorce. It is often very, traumatic, troubling, not what they expected in their life at all. So tell us a little bit about meeting people at this time in their life and some of the key points and steps that you have for helping them.
Yeah. Well, everybody's situation is different, right? No two people ever seem to be exactly the same. So it's really about helping the women and men that I speak with identify what's going on. How do they feel about, the life that they pictured for themselves? It is a grieving process. Yeah. And what do they want their life to look like? What is the best version of them? And what's next? So many of us never really think about, what do I want for my life? We're so busy just going through autopilot, and we made a decision in our younger years and we just keep reacting to the circumstances that are put our way. And I really want people to take ownership of their life and know that they are the ones in control of creating it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think touching on grief, like you've mentioned, I deal a lot with gray divorce, long-term marriages, and see that often where people expected to grow old with somebody. They've had a long-term marriage. Things have always been this way, and they expected that just to continue. And then this sort of rocks their world. What tips do you have for somebody that might come to you and they are just really I call it marinating. They are just stuck in this grief space.
The first step is the willingness to get out of it. Right? There are some people who just don't. They want to hang on to the anger. They want to hang on to the resentment. And so the first step is to be willing to release it. So forgiveness is a huge piece. Forgiving the other person, forgiving themselves, and forgiveness is not about condoning someone's behavior or saying it's okay or saying that this person's going to be a significant part of my life. It's about letting go of the anger and the resentment that is impacting your life, right? So many people think, but if I forgive them, then they're going to get away scot-free.
Right. Or it makes it okay. It makes all of this okay or something. Yeah.
And forgiveness isn't about the other person. Forgiveness is for you. It's for your peace and for your ability to move on and create a life of your own, one that actually brings you joy. When you're full of resentment and anger, it's really hard to be happy.
Yeah. And it's something you're always carrying around with you, lugging this, I think of a ball and chain. It impacts what you're doing on a daily basis, how you're making decisions. And I find when I work with people, if they are really stuck in negative emotions, they're wanting, the other person to feel pain through the divorce process. They're wanting to make it as difficult on them as possible because they're hurt. It's really difficult to, really try to reach them and try to move them through because they are almost like in partnership with their pain
Yeah.
more than they are with their future.
Yeah. Well, and so many people tend to shove their emotions under a rug. So my invitation to everybody is to allow yourself to feel your feelings. There are no bad, right? Anger, sadness, hurt, fear, those are normal, healthy emotions when you responsibly handle them,
Yeah.
right? So allow yourself to feel your emotions. Please don't put a rug over it and move on. Sometimes I'll have my clients punch a pillow or grab a baseball bat and like beat their mattress because it gets out a lot of that stuck emotion. Unless you address it, it will always have control over you.
Yeah, it can be like a unaddressed illness in a lot of ways. You push it down, it is going to pop up somewhere. So, you can't shove it under the rug for long. I often see, people just have such a hard time moving forward and making decisions because the divorce itself might be the last thing that's tying the two people together as well. And they're like, well, I'm not going to let this go easily because I don't want them to let go of me easily, and for them to be able to move on.
Yeah. Well, and imagine, again, everyone's situation is different, but if you were able to part ways in a more peaceful way, you might be able to retain some sort of healthy relationship in the future, right?
Yeah.
Especially if there's kids involved, no matter if they're young kids or older kids, you don't want to see that person and be triggered every single time.
And that does impact children, even adult children. So
Sure.
I do a lot of gray divorce, which is couples over 50, and we see a lot of people actually gravitating towards amicable divorce because they're like, I don't want to impact my children.
Sure.
I want us both to be able to be at the birthday party for the grandchild. I don't want our kids to have to choose sides in that way. And I think that's such a mature decision often for people to make that, choice and to acknowledge, this will be difficult, but I'm not going to, make other people feel bad through it.
Yeah. Well, and I would imagine that creates a lot of isolation, right? Yeah. If the children do have to choose.
Yeah.
So.
And that's hard for them regardless of age, whether you have toddlers or you have, adults. We see across the board, children of no age really, want to be put in the middle of that.
Sure.
One of the things I know you focus on with your clients is really having them reinvent themselves and discover what that is all about. And you smile when you say that because I know you're so passionate about it. So if somebody's coming, to work with you, I think I get a lot of questions from people and they're like, well, what happens? Like, what do they do? What does a coach do? What is going to happen to me? So I think one of the things I really like is for people to explain, tell us what your job is and exactly what you do with a client that comes to you. What does that look like for them? What's that experience?
Sure. Now, there are different types of coaches. I want to put that out there first, right? So a divorce coach will help you through the divorce process and walk you step by step through what's going to happen when. A health coach is going to advise you on the things to do, right?
Yeah.
So a business coach, same thing. It's more of a consultant. Like, these are the steps you need to take in order to achieve this goal. My business as a life coach is that my job is to help you discover what is right for you. There are no two people exactly the same. And so I don't have a cookie cutter process. I'm not going to say, okay, step 1, this, step 2, this. It's based on meeting you where you're at and really helping you discover what's in your heart, what's in your way, helping you process through whatever's going on. So really identifying what does the client want, right? What do we get to prioritize? Let's look at goals. Let's create a vision for your future. And that's I do that for anybody, whether they are
Hmm.
going through a divorce or they own a business or, you know, I believe everybody needs to work on creating a vision for our life. That
Hmm.
way we can intentionally create our life instead
Yeah.
of reacting to our circumstances. So a big piece is really helping the clients discover what's right for them
Yeah.
and what is it that they want to get out of our work together.
Hmm. Yeah. And so I know I work with people during the divorce. I'm a
Hmm.
divorce lawyer and mediator, so I rarely am working with people after the divorce.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of the time where you come in. You happen to help people sort of after they've been through that process, right?
A lot of times. And
Hmm.
there are times where people will reach out before or during as
Yeah.
well. So it just is, my belief is when you are happy and healthy and confident, that you create better decisions,
Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
so there's no right timing for it. It's just
Hmm.
about what works for you. I would imagine somebody working on themselves during a divorce process would make the divorce process a little bit easier.
It would. That would be very nice if that was mandatory for sure. I think it's hard being a lawyer and seeing, so many people in so many situations. And again, every,
Yeah.
situation is different, but to see people making decisions from so much fear of their future. And we really try to do that with, making them understand their finances and their
Hmm.
situation and, getting, everybody on the same page. And we just see so much decision making often come from negative emotions, legitimate emotions, of
Sure.
course. I mean, people, really experience a divorce a lot of times, like a death of a marriage and working through that. But when that is the motivation for your big time decision making, often I find that that doesn't go well. If your decision is not what's best for me, but what's worst for them,
Oh, for sure.
yeah, you're going to get to the end of the divorce and not have the settlement or the situation that you've created that's best for you.
Right. And most people don't make very good decisions when it's coming from fear or scarcity,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's important to think about, what do I want my life to look like?
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're making it from your vision and your values and intention
Yeah.
versus, from fear.
Yeah.
And just to normalize it, so many people make decisions from fear,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like
Mm-hmm.
going through divorce or just living everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are reacting from fear.
Yeah, for sure. I think one thing, if you're listening to this, and if people, I think, are self aware enough to know, gosh, I'm struggling with this right now. I want to have better decision making. I want to really plan my future. If you sort of have that light bulb moment, seize the day. Go ahead and take the next step to have somebody like you come in and hold their hand and, help them with that next step in that next chapter.
Yeah. Well, and I believe at least make the phone call,
Yeah.
right? See what it's like to have a conversation with a coach. If you're
Mm-hmm.
even just remotely curious, pick up the phone and or jump online and get on someone's
Yeah.
calendar
Mm-hmm.
and explore it. Just because you explore it doesn't mean you have to do it.
Right.
And allow somebody to hear you,
Mm-hmm.
right? All everybody, every single person in this world, all we ever want is to be seen, heard, and understood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the many benefits of working with a coach is
Mm-hmm.
that person is a non-judgmental person that you can talk to about anything or everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they're there for you. Their job is to listen and to understand and to hold your hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And guide you. And
Yeah.
so, see if it's the right thing for you. It may not be,
Yeah.
but at least have that conversation. So many people make assumptions like,
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
Most coaches offer free discovery sessions to
Mm-hmm.
see, hey, here's what it would be like to work together.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're feeling it's something that you need to explore that, you can find Nicole on the Amicable Divorce Network website, as well as all kinds of other coaches and professionals. Everybody's vetted on our website for being resolution focused, engaging in fair billing practices, and being experienced. And I think what's important to note is the resolution focus. where everybody is working on getting things fixed, resolved, and done for you to move forward. Nobody's interested in keeping you in a bad spot, or not doing anything. Everybody is geared towards moving forward, whether that's slow, fast, whatever it is that's best for you. We do have that, ability to be more custom, but you can really match with a great professional that we've gone ahead and vetted. So if you are listening and you're like, gosh, I'm coach curious, you can definitely find some resources, and Nicole's our coaching chair and she can connect with you as well and get you pointed in the right spot. You've talked with me before about sort of a mindset, and you had a really great example of the Whole30 diet, which we both did. My husband did a Whole1. He was very angry the next morning and drank a bunch of orange juice and it was all over for him.
Oh no.
But you and I did the Whole30, and I think your example really hit home, because I think a lot of people have done, something like that along the journey of life at some point. So let's talk about that, because I thought that was a great example.
Okay. So now I'm trying to remember exactly what we said. So if you have done the Whole30, what happens in the first, I think it's the first chapter in the book, it says, day 1, this is what you're going to experience. Day 2, this is what you're going to experience. And the reality is, when you have that thought process in your mind of this is what's going to happen, that is what happens in your life. Yeah. So I didn't read that section. And so when I did the Whole30, I didn't have the symptoms that most people had, because I didn't program my mind to think that I was going to have those symptoms. Yeah. In fact, I did the Whole30, actually, for the most part, still pretty much live the Whole30 lifestyle. And I felt great on it. I felt really good almost the entire time. So really be careful about programming your mind to think that everything is going to be a certain way, right? Be open to what you are experiencing in the moment and not what people tell you you're going to feel.
Yeah, I think I see that, unfortunately, a lot. I call it negative advocates, where people have maybe friends or family who love them dearly, but, they're really almost promoting this negativity, like, oh, well, we hate the other person, and, we need to do this or that, or this is how you should feel. And I always tell my clients to sort of sit with how you feel after a conversation with that person. They might be your best friend, they might be your sister, they might be your mother. They're obviously going to be in your life forever. But in these, very, tense and emotional times, maybe you reach out to a different friend, because the feeling that they give you and the support and the advice maybe is a better fit at this time, and just talk to your other friends and family about more factual matters, or, whatever it is. But to really gauge, how do you feel after the conversation? Did they make you feel better or worse? Because sometimes people are putting their own ideas, thoughts, and feelings into your situation because they love you, but sometimes it isn't helpful.
Yeah. Yes. And I truly believe boundaries, right? Oh, yeah. Tell those people that, hey, listen, this is not a conversation we're going to have. If you are not comfortable creating boundaries, there are some great books.
Yeah.
And it's something that I help my clients with, but it's so important to surround yourself with positive people who are going to help you move forward, not keep you stuck in the past.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you so much for the conversation today. I know it's going to help a lot of people, that, they will feel like they have more resources available to them, and help is out there. And if you need a positive partner, I'm in your corner. Nicole is somebody great to reach out to. If somebody's listening to this, Nicole, and they're like, I've got to reach out to her, she would be perfect to help me, how is the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah. So it's pretty easy. It's my first and last name. So NicoleComis.com. You can get on my calendar. You can read blog posts, whatever you need will be right on that website.
Sounds good. And if you're listening and you're like, I cannot pull over and write that down, just save our episode, and it will be in the show notes for you. So you can come back later, get that information, and reach out to Nicole. Nicole, thank you so much for everything that you do, not just for the network, but for all of your clients, and always spreading such positivity.
Aw, thanks, Tracy Ann.